Welcome to Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. Divine Kika is a radiant force, overflowing with positive energy, guiding you to a heart-opening, blissful, authentic tantric experience. This show will help you to expand your joy, cultivate more intimacy in your life, and rediscover the pleasure within your personal relationship. Dive in and discover untapped intimacy and true joy for yourself or with your beloved. Bring back the harmony and happiness that you long for. Let's begin an unforgettable journey that will leave an imprint on your heart and soul forever. Welcome to Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. Here's your host, Divine Kika.
Welcome to another edition of the Tantra Lounge. My name is Greg. I'll be hosting the show with the real star of the show, the Divine Kika. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
We have an amazing theme and show lined up for everyone listening tonight. The theme of the show will be women and sexuality and how it influences the household, which I think is a very important topic.
Yeah, I would like to talk about how, as a woman, the way we relate to our sexuality, the way we relate with our man and our sexuality, or our partner,
right,
man or woman, how did that influence the relationship, especially between a man and a woman, when there is that male, even if it's not a man and woman, how that male energy and the female energy gets affected when the woman is not completely awakened and happy with her own sexuality.
Eventually, those things will start to take their toll on the relationship, of course, as everything does, whether it's money or family issues. But sexuality and sex is such a massive part of every relationship. Eventually, it will affect how the two people are getting along, correct?
Absolutely. And if we think about, like, as a woman, we have babies, and then we are not comfortable with our bodies anymore. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, like, the man sees the woman as the one that is the mother of the baby, and now she's not as the sexual being anymore.
Right.
Because she's the mom.
We spoke about that a little last week, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so how we address that so we can still have the love and the connection and the intimacy and the pleasure that we used to have in the beginning of the relationship, after having kids, after everyday life, after our busy routines, our everyday life.
Mm-hmm. And I think you are such a resource for everyone listening. Not everyone has the opportunity to even go speak to a therapist or speak to somebody who might be able to help their relationship. People are embarrassed to do that sometimes. And when you listen to this show, which is here every week, we try to delve into these different sexuality topics that will help build and strengthen relationships. I think people should know that. Those who are listening maybe for the first time, those who are maybe viewing us on YouTube for the first time, this is an awakening. It should be used as an awakening for your relationship.
I'm here to inspire you, to help you to have the best relationship ever, to have the best sexuality, ultimately greater intimacy, sex, and love in your life.
Yes.
Which, if we all had, and if the whole world were fulfilled and feeling good, feeling accepted, feeling loved, the way we could give more into the world would be completely different.
And that's why this particular show is so important, I think, for those listening that might be struggling to find that spark in their relationship for whatever reason. Over the years of a marriage or of a relationship, the sex tends to go and backwards at some point, where you're not really, it's not the first thing.
That is a joke about that.
That
is like, in the first year of the marriage, you get little, like the popcorn seeds, like the corn. Yeah. Right? And you put them in a jar every time you have sex.
Yeah.
And then after 2 years, you take one out every time you have sex. And they say that for the rest of your life, you're never going to take them all out.
there's way too much popcorn in there.
So you're never going to finish it. But if you're tantric, you will take it off and put it on again, over and over again.
You just keep putting more back in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That's a nice trick to use. Because I think you almost need to see. I bet you, if you went and asked the average couple, how many times do you have sex a week, they would probably, or are you intimate a week, they would probably tell you, 2 or 3 times. But in
the
reality,
lucky ones.
it's not. Yeah, but in reality, it's probably more like 2 or 3 times a month, maybe.
Well, and then we think about like 50% of women are not orgasming.
That's
Well,
troublesome.
that will make it not pleasurable for them to do, and then they will avoid it.
Yeah, what's the point? Really?
Well,
I mean, not that there's nothing
and the men
to
feel
benefit.
bad because they can't last long enough because they don't have the tools and techniques. They think it's just the way they are. But in reality, a man can be trained to last longer.
Right.
And to really be her healer, to awaken her. And through that, she can find her power. She can surrender because we hold tension in our genitals from our exes, from the way we were treated as a kid,
Right.
from the traumas of this very relationship we're in, or the trauma of being single,
Yeah.
and just that repressed energy or whatever tension, it stays there. And if we find a way to let go of that energy, if my partner can become my healer, that I come and say, here is my sorrow, here is my tension, here is my sadness, here is my stress, here is my frustration. And he comes in and he holds me that space.
Right.
And he actually removed that tension from my being, which is possible.
Well, that brings us back to the topic of the show. I think part of the reason these things happen is because maybe the couples are not educated on how to approach these pitfalls in the relationship. So let's talk a little bit about the woman's role and how does she go about opening her sexuality, and how does it affect her role in the household? Because I know that's what we're really talking about here. Is it a difficult thing for a woman to find that in herself?
That's very interesting because, Catholic girls, good girls don't do it.
Yeah, that's always been the...
There is a great amount of guilt and shame as a woman. If we open up sexually, then we are the sluts. We are the bad girls.
Yeah, exactly. And then they feel that way, yes.
Yeah, and the good girl don't do it. And this is such a mistake. This is such a wrong way of looking at it. If I am in love and if I open to my beloved that way, I am not, and there is another myth.
What's that?
Is that the woman think if they are giving their sexuality, if they're open, they are giving away something that is so precious that is just good for him, but it's not good for her. And in reality, when we open, when we surrender in the right circumstances for the man that is loving, honor, and respecting us,
Right.
that wants to love us better, if we can open up for him that way and teach him the way. Because if we do open up, he will follow what we say. He will be wanting that. The male nature is wanting to please, wanting making her happy.
Yeah, provide not only for your family but for your wife and for the one you love.
And ladies, he wants you to be satisfied because that makes him feel powerful.
Yes.
That's just male nature. And if he feels like you are having pleasure and he's content, the relationship, the bond and the connection that is in there is so big.
Well, how is it that the woman is afraid to bare her soul there and say what she needs? Do you find that to be the case where it's mostly because of the fact that she's reluctant to open herself up that way and subject herself to being looked at that way? I don't know if that made sense.
I wish I could figure it out why women close down. That
It's
is
so complex. There's so many layers.
It's like if I had the answer to that, but I think I have some answers. Don't feel comfortable with their own body. Do not know their own body.
Right.
Do not know their pleasure. Do not feel completely
What their hot buttons are.
right. Because a lot of women don't know how to pleasure themselves. They don't know their potential. Because a woman's potential for pleasure and sensation in their bodies is infinite. Now, let me say it again, because
Please
this
do.
is something hard to take in. It's like the woman's potential for pleasure is infinite, which means a woman can have we can't say the word in the radio, but I'll say expand the sensation in her body.
Okay.
And that release over and over and over again. I can have it 40 times in an hour and have
Big
water
O,
all
we could
over the
call it,
place.
right? The big O? Would
Can
that
we
be
say that
the
in the
big O?
radio?
Why not?
Divine Kika is an international Tantra master, author, seminar leader, relationship and sex coach. She will teach you to master your sexuality and self-awareness so you can experience fulfillment and happy relationships while living a life of love, power and passion. She guides you achieve the love life you have always wanted and have the best sex ever. If you want to create a truly happy relationship or to manifest your perfect partner, sign up for private video coaching through Skype and start creating the life you want now at www.divinekika.com.
We can have it over and over again. And then when a woman, in the ancient tantric books, we say the waters come from the heavens and clear all the center of energies in the body, the chakras.
Right.
And then open us to be whole, to be full. And when we have that experience of a fully opening ourselves, and if we can really go there, we come fully in our power.
Okay, so the man's role in this is really letting his lover, his wife, his partner know that I want to do everything in my power to please you. And whatever steps we need to take to get there, we'll do together. How does that, is this generally something that is brought out in just in a standard conversation? How does this come up in a relationship? How do you get to this point?
How do you get her to understand that if she has pleasure, she's going to be happier and you're going to be happier?
And I will be too, of course.
Well, I think the first thing that man needs to say is like, when I feel accepted sexually, I can love you more, because that's a reality.
Okay.
When the man feels accepted sexually in a relationship, ladies, not every guy that you want, you just go and give it to him, he will love you. It doesn't work that way. We know better.
Yes.
But if we are in relationship, and then when the man feel fully accepted sexually, then his heart opens and melt. Okay.
Now, is it making the man feel less like a man if he's not giving that to? Do you feel that is happening? So subconsciously, is the man feeling less of a man if he's not able to know, if he knows he's not able to satisfy his wife?
Absolutely.
Yes. So that affects everything as well.
That affects the way that his confidence, his power within himself. And I can't say that on the radio, so I don't know how to say. I'm asking
just say
Greg.
You can
Control the sensation.
Control the release.
When the men can sustain love longer.
Okay. Yes.
You guys got what I'm trying to say.
Following you, yes. Last longer.
Yes. Then she can feel more ultimately, and then she can go. If the guy is always like too quick,
right,
she can never feel satisfied. She won't want to have it. She won't want to go there
because it's almost like you're getting her started.
It's
almost
annoying.
like starting the engine and then turning the car off.
Yeah, and then, okay, great. Now I'm started, and you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm
Good
ready,
night.
and the car's ready to run. I'm ready for a cross-country drive. And
now I can't sleep.
Yeah, you drove to the market.
And that headache won't go away either.
And then the guy is already asleep.
Now she's mad, and she will be yelling the next day.
I always find it remarkable how many people are out there that don't find any satisfaction out of knowing their partner has been satisfied or fulfilled. How can anybody feel okay with just saying, I'm good, I'll see you later, I'm going to go to sleep now? How can anybody feel good about themselves? It's definitely a two-way street. And if it's going to last, it needs to be that both directions are in, getting the same out of it.
The man likes to see that she's enjoying it too.
There's nothing better than that, knowing, look what I've done. And look how happy she is.
And he likes to feel pleasure too. And how we, as a woman, we can go there once our heart is open.
Right.
And if we are willing. But the thing is, like, a lot of women put everything else in front of that, and they forget, like, the very core of their being.
Right. There's definitely, both sides have, in this equation, both sides are probably equally at fault.
I wish I was a fly in your bedroom.
Why is that?
Because I wonder how these conversations here are changing your life at home.
Well, I'll just say that I've always been very talkative about this and open with this. So because to me, there's no reason to even bother in a relationship if you aren't both committed to that part of your life. It's
Yeah.
50% of what makes a marriage work. I know not many people would want to believe that, but it is probably 50% of your marriage is physical.
It is huge. And a lot of bad relationships last because of a good sex.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Everything else is off. The makeup
It's
sex.
true.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of sick relationships last just because of that. If
Yeah.
that's
And
that's horrible too.
It is horrible, but there's a reason, because 50% of their relationship is okay. The other parts of it need a lot of work. I think it's easier to fix the physical aspect than it is to fix the friendship and the relationship part of it, because that
Yeah.
you can't teach. This can be taught, which is what I'm learning from you. Is that a lot of these
Exactly.
things you just need to put the time in to learn.
Exactly.
Divine Kika is an international Tantra master, author, seminar leader, relationship and sex coach. She will teach you to master your sexuality and self-awareness so you can experience fulfillment and happy relationships while living a life of love, power, and passion. Achieve the love life you have always wanted and have the best sex ever. For life-changing relationship advice and great lovemaking tips, visit divinekika.com. That's divine, Kika.com.
But we should talk a little bit more about how there's a blame factor in here. I know you mentioned if she wants it too much, she blames the man for not giving it to her. What I'm curious about is, how does the woman properly go about approaching her man or her partner to get more
Well,
from them?
the first thing that I want to say is, like, most women, when they want something, instead of saying, I would love if you kiss me more, I would love if you touch my body this way, I would love if we make time to go out to dinner once a week, because when we have that dinner, we can connect a little deeper.
Right.
But instead, what most women do is like, you never make time for me, you always busy, and the guy go, I don't want to make time for you, because that's exactly what you're going to do. I don't want to go out to dinner with you because you're going to complain the entire time. What's the point?
And you've never told me this. That's the other one. Right.
And in reality, if she was being made love to beautifully, and if she was really sexually satisfied, do you think she would be complaining so much?
No. I think that's why it
And
can
do
be
you
frustrating.
think if that man is really receiving all the love and feeling like he's pleasing her, and that she's satisfied and he's satisfied, that she's really connected with him, do you think he would not devote more time for her?
I think everybody would if it's common understanding.
I saw this video on YouTube this week that was hilarious. There's this guy fixing all kinds of stuff around the house, and then he got some good and the whole video was like, oh yeah, what a man do if he got a good love going. He got a good love in, and the guy was fixing the entire house. I thought that was a great
Whatever
video.
you
That was
need,
fantastic.
you're gonna
That was
get.
so funny.
That is true too. I mean, I think you'll start seeing a
Oh,
hop
honey,
in
you
his
want me
step.
to carry these rocks for you? I will.
Yeah,
No problem.
I'll do the garden. I'll dig any. I'll
You do me
clear-
later, right?
As long as there's this understanding, it's a give and take.
Welcome to Tantra Lounge.
Sex Talk Radio.
Divine Kika is a radiant force, overflowing with positive energy, guiding you to a heart-opening, blissful, authentic, tantric experience. This show will help you to expand your joy, cultivate more intimacy in your life, and rediscover the pleasure within your personal relationships. A lot of people have questions out there about Tantra. I think there's a lot of misconceptions, would you say? Some misunderstandings about what it's all about?
Yeah. When I say I'm a Tantra teacher, people look at me like I wish I could show you their faces. They have these big eyes and a little, when excitement, it's a little bit of fear and a little bit of nervous, and they look with these big eyes and a big smile because a big part of them is really curious about what it is.
Of course.
But then there is a little bit fear. So it all means excitement.
I think so. It's a stimulating topic.
Tantra is a path like Zen or yoga that uses sexuality as a door to awareness.
That's right.
And then Tantra is also choosing with awareness what brings us joy. Now, if we're expanding that, like what is really be conscious enough, knowing oneself enough, knowing your surroundings, knowing what your deepest desires, fears, emotions, and send that into how can I bring more joy into my life? And from that joy, expand throughout all those around me.
Absolutely. I think that when it comes to Tantra and sex, it's such a hot topic. Of course, people are interested in it. Of course, they want to hear about it. They want to talk about it. But really, it's just scratching the surface of it. Although sexuality is very much embraced in Tantra, it is really not the primary focus or point.
What do you do now? Say the woman has specific needs that she wants to be fulfilled and addressed, and then these are certain aspects that the man might not be comfortable doing. So let's use an example. Say you tell him you're not happy with what you're getting from your husband, and you say, I want you to do X, Y, and Z to me. But the man doesn't really like X, Y, and Z. It's a turnoff for him. Is that a problem? Does that become, you better just suck it up and no pun intended?
Wait, come on. You're about to suck it up. I thank you, brother.
No. If the woman, how do I say it? If the woman's desires.
I wish you guys could see his face. He's blushing.
Am I?
Yes.
It takes a lot to get me to blush, too. That's twice in 2 weeks. Unbelievable. Can't say that it happens often.
Oh, yeah, I'm warming you up for your girlfriend or wife.
Exactly.
Is that girlfriend or wife?
She's my fiance.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're warming me up. That's so funny.
As long as she doesn't come chasing me after.
No, I don't think I'm gonna chase. It can only help, right?
I'm here to help.
I would think.
I'm here to
so
help.
let's just say you come to your partner and you say, I really want you to do this to me more. Whatever this is, I want you to do this to me. And the man isn't comfortable with this. He feels it's scary to him, or doesn't make him
Got
happy
it.
or aroused.
Got it.
How is that handled in the relationship?
Okay. I would love if you kiss my neck more.
Okay.
Right? But it's not something that you like to do, or
That's
but
a tough one,
that's the way that I communicate that.
Right.
Why don't you ever kiss my neck?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I do it. That he would do it resentful.
Mm-hmm.
It's again, are you making a request or are you making a demand?
Okay, so you're asking.
Number one to understand.
Okay.
Am I making a request or am I making a demand? A demand means I will not be willing to hear a no.
Okay.
And a request is just a request. I would love if you kiss my neck more. Right here. And when you kiss my neck right here in the back of my head, it makes me feel more warm, and then I want to kiss you more,
Right.
and I feel closer to you. Now, if I say that way,
Right. You automatically open me up to it.
exactly. Now, if I nag about it, or if I make you feel uncomfortable, and I would go even further more. I would go, I love when you hug me and you kiss me, and when you kiss me with that way that you're almost devouring me. Mm-hmm. Oh, it feels so good. But if you just would kiss my neck too at that time, that would be even better.
So you're telling him something he does that's very nice, and also adding to it, if you did this, it would take it to the next level.
Yes, and I'm not making a demand. I'm
Right.
making a request, but I'm giving him. So the formula is give him or her an appreciation.
Okay.
Make a clear request, exactly what you want, and then say why it's so good.
There's a very interesting conflict within this, by the way.
Tell me.
I've heard from many different people in my own experiences and just reading and such, that sometimes it's hard for a woman, for some reason, to really show, like you said, they don't want to be perceived as a dirty girl or a bad girl. It's hard for them to convey what they want. because maybe they're sitting in a room with as much lighting as we have in here right now, and you don't feel comfortable. Is it better to do this in a quiet, intimate, dark place where you feel like you're open? I'm just curious because you're not embarrassed or whatever. Is that
So let's say, guys, you have a girlfriend that you feel like she could open up more, but she's not.
She's timid.
She's timid. She's not. What you do is you encourage her.
Right.
By talking about how beautiful she is, how you would love for her to open up more, but not like, oh, I really need to make love more. I really need to have more sex. Yeah. This is not working
You're
for
not
me.
satisfying me.
Well, it's not working for you.
Which is
Goodbye,
like a
man.
dagger
Ciao.
in our hearts, by the way, when that happens. That's a
Right?
dagger. It hurts.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
No.
Now, if you say, well, I really would love, I love when you feel warm, like you look so beautiful when you open up. I can see when you're excited and you look so beautiful. I would love to see more of that.
Right.
And what are the things that I can do that you feel good? How can I support you in feeling good? And then feeling more. I think that's the right question to start the conversation.
So you're almost doing it casually as like, well, I really want to make you happy. I want to please you. What can I do to take it to the next level?
But I want to make a point here too, because a lot of women, it's a nasty thing to do. They use their sexuality to get their other needs met. Well, you put the painting up of the house, and then I will go
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not cool because sexuality is love. Sex is energy.
Yes.
Sex is a vibration that we exchange in order to raise our energy, to raise love, to create something together. So I should never use my sexuality as a tool to get what I want. That's sick.
Yeah, and although some relationships are fueled by a power dynamic, and that's fine if that's your thing. Right? There are a lot of those dominant sub-relationships where guys or girls, that's part of what makes them click.
Oh, I have seen relationships where they say yes, master to each other.
Yeah, and that's a different story.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
That's a bit of a kink. But I do think that that's different because there are people that enjoy that aspect.
For a while, until they're healthy. Yeah.
Being almost until they're healthy. And then eventually they should stop doing that. Because it's going to carry over into
it's fun for sometimes.
Yeah, where's my food? It's like, I'm coming, sir. To me, that just doesn't work. But no, I'm just curious that the actual commitment that you're making to one another as a marriage or a relationship is that you will do everything in your power to make that person happy in every way. So maybe I know there's certain books and websites where you could actually like write down your answers to things like, here's something you might never share these certain hot topics with your loved one, and you write them down and then you read, oh my God, you like that? I never knew you liked that. Would you ever recommend doing something like that where you
I have a love-making request.
You do?
Sheet that I can
A
post
request
it.
sheet.
Yeah, it's like, I would like if you kiss me here or you bite me here. Or, like, it's very specific. I'll post it on
That's
the
a good
Facebook
idea.
this week. So
Please.
if you go to Alexandra Marianetti, Divine Kika, if
Okay.
you look for Divine Kika on Facebook, you're going to find me.
Okay.
And I'll post it, the love-making request. It's
Okay.
it's a very
That's what I'm
cool
talking
document that I made. But there's and that will help with those requests. And I think we have to make it fun. And sharing what we feel and what we like and what we don't like is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also sharing what am I feeling and what am I needing and knowing it. What happens is a lot of people don't know what they're feeling and what they're needing through the day. So one invitation that I have is like, be aware of what you're feeling. What are you feeling? What are you feeling? Like, what are you needing?
Right. What am I not doing, or what would you like more from me?
Or for yourself.
Okay.
For yourself, for example, okay, I'll do it right now. I have a list of needs and feelings that I can also post in there, and
Okay.
I'll guide you through a little. I wish I had the list right here. I didn't know we were going to get into this
That's
today.
okay.
But so what is it? It's like, so I'm doing a check-in, and I do that several times through the day. And sometimes in my marriage was just about, okay, what am I feeling? I'm feeling exhausted and I'm getting grumpy. There would be times that I would be with the kids and whatever, my husband was there, and I was getting tired and I was grumpy.
Right.
And then I would check into my heart, wow, I feel really tired and I'm getting grumpy. I'm a little hungry too.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so what do I need? I need to eat and I need rest. How long? 15 minutes. So I would come to my husband and say, can you watch the kids? 15 minutes, I need to have a snack and I need to rest for 15 minutes by myself. And I had this room in the house, or the princess room that was upstairs. It was really cool. But anyways, I had it, yeah. But anyway, so that was like my way of, and my husband would let me go there and recharge. And when I come back, I had so much love to give because I took that time for myself. And a lot of times in relationship, we're not aware of what we need and what we're feeling. And we bring that grumpiness or that little bit of resentment or that little edgy to the relationship. And our partners feel that and they don't even know what it is about.
Right.
Or perhaps you said something earlier, or you didn't. You're being
I was
amazing.
like, okay. I was like, what did I say?
That upset me, but I didn't say anything, and I hold that resentment. And if I don't express it in a loving way, I said, hey, you know, when we were walking downtown, I saw you looking at that other woman, and I felt a little bit sad, and I felt like you're not respecting me. But that's, and then I go even deeper. Well, you know, I had an ex-boyfriend that made me feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, go even far off, like really be aware of who you are and what are you feeling and where those emotions come from. Because a lot of times it's not even from this situation, it's something from the past that is being triggered you now, and now all of a sudden you're shut down and you don't even know why. So I invite you to really look deeper. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Because you bring up such a great point. I know so many people have done this. I mean, I've done it in the past as well. You get that feeling of like, these people in my past have let me down.
We all know the physical aspects of sex, but we rarely hear of the spiritual side. 10 Tantric Sex Secrets for Greater Sex, Love, and Intimacy Tonight by Divine Kika will bring you extraordinary bliss. This titillating and easy-to-read book will transform your ordinary sex life to breathtaking, amazing, powerful. Great for beginners, let this book be your first step to a happier love life. 10 Tantric Sex Secrets for Greater Sex, Love, and Intimacy Tonight. Available in hard copy, ebook, and audio format at divinekika.com. That's divine, Kika.com.
I'm real excited about your new book, 10 Tantric Sex Secrets. And it's really beautiful that you came out with this, and so I'm hoping that everybody can find it and read what she's written here and take a great start to your own tantric journey and take a look at this sweet book. It's a great little pamphlet. It's easy to read, and Kika's just wonderful.
You're almost bringing your baggage into my relationship. And that's unfortunate that you had to go through those things. And I'm here to try and change that. I'm a different person. But so many times, those past experiences also affect your current relationship because you can't let them go.
So I can say, hi, love, that was then, this is now.
Right.
I really love you. I'm really here for you. And the more reassurance we give to our partner when it's true,
Right.
like, oh, you felt upset that I look at somebody. You know what? I was just admiring her beauty. I love you so much. And I'm sorry for a moment I got lost into her beauty because my male was there. And I don't even know why I did that. And I apologize if I hurt you. It was never my intention.
Okay.
And I really think you're beautiful. And like, come back to the reassurance instead of saying, well, I'm a man, I should be doing this anytime I want, and blah, blah, blah. And then the relationship is messed up.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't mean that you can't look. It's not the point I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is like, can we reassure each other? Mm-hmm. Go back to that intention. We had a show that in the very beginning that we talked about desires, intentions,
right, and
boundaries. So when we have that intention, so I have a partner now that I'm very, very happy with.
Okay.
And he and I have disagreements that we want to be with each other and make the world better because we are in each other's lives.
Right.
And even like, okay, I want to show my vulnerability and I want to know that I'll be safe. I want to know, and then so he tells me that he wants to love me well, or that he will be there for me. I can feel that I can trust. So I know I can always, even if he goes, well, he's not coming tonight. And instead of being wondering why he's not coming tonight,
right,
I know that he adores me, and when I see him, it's going to be
Makes
awesome.
you look forward to that more.
Because I know his intention, and his intention is to love me well.
Right. I think that's such a great point. I feel that every good relationship has that trust that, okay, we're not going to see each other tonight, but it's just going to make me want to see you even more the next day. If you feel those things, you're doing something right. Because how many times have you been in a relationship where you're like, oh God, I have to see her tomorrow, or we're going to get together? I almost would rather, if that's what you're feeling.
Well, if you don't want to see her,
then you
get out of
shouldn't be
the
together.
relationship.
But if you feel that excitement over, okay, we're not going to see each other tonight, but I know that you would want to be with me, that I would be your first choice. But instead, we'll see each other tomorrow, and it'll be double the enjoyment.
Yeah.
I think that's a very important thing for people to acknowledge and understand too.
Well, and then another thing that I want to bring it up, and then that's very sad. You gotta have a life.
Yeah. True.
I met somebody a month or two ago, and this guy came to me and he goes, "Oh my God, he's gonna hear the show."
I'm crossing my fingers that this isn't too bad.
So he goes, "Oh, you are the first date." He tells me, "Oh, Kika, you're amazing. You're beautiful. You're with it. You are powerful. You're confident. Blah 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 blah. I want to date you. I'm devoted. This is it. I'm gonna go out only with you." I'm like, "Whoa, where's the door?"
Yeah, get me out of here. That's how everybody would think.
It came across as needy, as too much at once, as like, okay, don't you have a life? And I mean it in look, I mean it like this. Like, I gotta know that you have a life and you're awesome on your own and you're happy in your life. And if you're not happy in your life and you want a relationship, get a life. I mean it. Like, go do what gives you passion, what wakes you up in the morning and make you feel like you're going. And if your life is not working right now, make it work. Make it so. Don't go for the excuses. Oh, my boss. Oh, my girlfriend. Oh, my this. Oh, my that. Make your life so you're creating the life that you want to have.
Absolutely.
Have that enthusiasm. So when you bring, this is for the singles or people that are in a relationship. So when you come with your partner,
right,
you're bringing that juice in. And then if he says, well, tomorrow night I'm busy. And you say, well, you know what? I have so much to do and
fine.
I'm happy and
Yes.
I will see you the next day. Now, if you do that with somebody that is like totally needing and then they say, I have so much love to give. I just need somebody to pour my love in. Oh, I would run from that so much because that's scary. Like, why don't you put that love in the things that you're passionate about?
Right. And it's sexy to see somebody who's really into something, whether it's if you enjoy exercising or if you enjoy sports or if you enjoy music. It's sexy for your girlfriend or boyfriend to look at you, or husband and wife, to say, that's my guy, that's my girl. Look at him doing what he does or what she does best. That's an turn on.
Whatever it is that is self-love. I call it self-love. When I'm going to my purpose of what I want to do in my life, like I like to write. For me, it's important. Like, so when I want somebody make arrangement, change plans with me, or they can't see me or whatever,
right.
I'm like, woohoo! I have time to write. I have time to meditate. I have time to do yoga. I have time to go swim, or I have time. Not be so dependent, and that codependency creates a weight in the relationship where couples, like, they are depending on each other to recharge energetically. And that can create a very sick relationship. And so you gotta be your own fountain of love, your own fountain of motivation, your own fountain of passion. And then when you come with your partner is just meeting you there and then giving you even more.
So does
that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I think it's great to explore these different parts of the relationship, because we could talk about this every day for the rest of time, and we wouldn't be able to cover all the nuances that go into a relationship. But last week, most of our discussions and the show itself, I felt we were tackling topics that we normally don't talk about on this show, and I feel like we're doing the same thing here. So why don't we reset a moment, and we'll come back with the Tantra Lounge in just a moment. You're listening to Desi 1170 AM.
Hi, I'm Divine Kika. I'm here to invite you to my new radio show, this and every Saturday at midnight, to inspire you to create loving, happy, fulfilling relationships in your life and have the best sex ever. I'll teach you tantric sex secrets never known before to spice your life and to give you greater joy. Join me this and every Saturday at midnight. Divine Kika Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. For more information, go to divinekika.com. Hi, I'm so excited to be here today with Baba Des Nichols. And Baba Des has changed my life. When he came to my life, he transformed about everything in my sexuality, in the way I relate to people, the way I view my life. I think he's one of the most, if not the most powerful, amazing Tantra teacher in the world. And Baba Des Nichols is internationally renowned speaker and teacher, Dhaka, author, singer, songwriter, transformational guide who has recently been featured in numerous TV and radio shows for his contribution in the healing arts and evolving human consciousness. He's a global networker and seeder of love and freedom who teaches the sacred temple arts, share, inspire, and support others on the activation and integration of life force energy. He's the founder of International Schools of Temple of Arts, ISTA, and the annual Sexuality and Consciousness conferences around the world. Today, his passion is supporting other educators, therapists, counselors, and guides to deepen their skill, presence, and mastery. His documentary, Sex Magic, and his book, Sacred Sexual Healing, which is an amazing book, Sex Magic, and the CD, Thank the Moon, are available in iTunes, Amazon, Netflix, Bandcamp, and more information about Baba Des is at babades.com. Welcome, Baba Des. What a joy to have you here.
Hi, Kika. It's good to hear your voice.
Oh, it's so good to hear your voice and to be here with you. You're such a gift to us today. And I know you live an amazing, extraordinary life. And if I look at pictures of people on Facebook, I always see you somewhere in the world, joyful, like completely in bliss, happy, living a life of power, love, and freedom like you taught me. And it always brings a smile on my face. How do you do that?
It's easy. I don't try, and I just, I feel. I feel, and I breathe, and I let go of control. And it's a joy to be alive and to trust and to live the most amazing life I can possibly live.
And you do.
I love supporting others and their ease and their joy and their love and their freedom. And I feel like all the things that we need to really live an extraordinary life in this world, we really don't get it. We don't get the teachings. We don't get the support, and most importantly, we don't get the role models. We don't get it from our parents. We don't get it from our teachers. I feel like the biggest saddest issue is that we pass down dysfunctional behaviors from generation to generation that keep us from our ease, keep us from our love, keep us from our power, and keep us locked into an addictive dysfunctional pattern that we consider normal. We consider it normal to be dysfunctional. We consider it normal to live the way that human beings live, and it's really sad because there's so much pain and suffering on the planet that it's just no way to live.
That's true. And you break through that. You are showing the world something completely different.
I hope so, and I'm hoping that more and more people, I really believe, and I'm working with a group of people, life researchers, doctors, educators, and neurologists, and what we're doing is we've created a program to support people to evolve and to heal this dysfunctional pattern. And it's my hope that more and more people around the world will step into their ease, step into their love, step into their freedom, and start creating a new consciousness
So
in the
when you
world.
say
And
yes, when you say ease, what do you mean by it? By ease, living into our ease. What do you mean by it?
well, what I mean by ease is, most people in ordinary reality, living a normal life, they don't realize how much trying and how much struggle and how much stress is in their life and in their beings and in their bodies and in their hearts.
So
And so what happens when you start to look at your neurological patterning and you're actually re-patterning yourself, is you start to have this experience of oh my God, I never knew this was possible. I never knew that life could be so easy, so sweet, and that I don't even have to try. And so that's what I mean by ease. And it's relative, because most people, if you ask them, oh yeah, my life is good, it's fine, I'm living in my ease. But what I realize, and what most of us realize that teach this work, is most people, they don't realize how much more easy, how much more fun, and how much more beautiful life can be, because they're used to walking around with 60-pound weights in their hands, and they think that's normal.
Yeah. I think the first step is know that we are not completely happy. Understand that we are not on our ease, like you say. So what do you think is the first step for people to break through that?
Well, the first step is to be willing to look at your life and be willing to really want to make it better. And most people are afraid of change. Most people are content and happy to stay in their lives the way their lives are, and they don't want radical change because they're afraid of the unknown. Yeah. And so I think that's one of the biggest reasons why humanity is stuck in an addictive loop and is not willing or not really willing to make radical changes.
But it's scary for people that are in their everyday life. When they look, it's like jumping out on the unknown, and they're so scared. They don't know what can happen.
Exactly, and that's because they have a neurological pattern in their nervous systems that isn't capable of really holding deep ease and power. And once they start to experience ease and power, it's so foreign to them that it brings up so much stuff, and people don't have the skills and the tools and the support to move through all the pain and suffering, and so they just stay in their normal addictive cycle.
And how can somebody that is living a normal life, in an everyday life, that is hearing us right now, how can they start this change in their lives? What do you suggest?
Well, for most people, what happens is they create some kind of breakdown, or their life just, they create so much pain and suffering that they're willing to jump. They're willing to take a risk. But most people just kind of piece it together and keep it together enough so that they're happy living their life with the mute button on. They're happy living their life, to a very small percentage of what is possible for human beings. And so they need to somehow have an insight or believe that life can be better. And they have to be willing to actually explore that path and try it out. And so one of the things that I love to do is I travel around the planet and I give talks at conferences and different things. And I actually somehow give people a little, I try to tickle their interest. I try to say, hey, your life can be better. Your life can be easier. You can have more love, more power, more freedom, more abundance, more health. And then they go, okay, well, let me check this out some more. And if they somehow somehow want to check it out, there's this thing I do called that ISTA, the International School of Temple Arts, offers, and there's about 25 faculty members that offer these trainings around the world, and it's called the Level 1 Spiritual Sexual Shamanic Experience. And this 1-week immersion experience basically takes people through a process that opens their eyes, opens their hearts, connects them with their bodies, and connects them with their power and their love in a way that is absolutely extraordinary. And like I said, this is developed by doctors, life researchers, sacred sexual healers, and neurologists around the world to actually shift the pattern in people's lives and give them an opportunity to see how they can live their life better.
You have shifted my life in 1 hour, Des.
Yeah,
sure
well,
then
Kika, it's like you sense the possibility, and some of us have made some changes and made some leaps and done some things that can make a difference in our lives. But one of the things I've been asking you to check out and wanting you to experience is this week-long Level 1 experience. And most people are just too busy. They don't have the time or whatever reasons. They're not able to have the experience. And they're happy with, some of the incremental changes and the little pieces they get.
Up to now, I had at least 10 of my own students that came from your trainings. And these people are incredibly aware, and it's so easy to work with them because they're really willing to dive in and feel their feelings and feel their emotions and go through the fire and come to the other side. And
exactly.
And the way you imprint, whatever you imprint in there in that training is the same thing that you planted in me that created this possibility of living a life of power and freedom. And I feel like I am there. I'm living the life of power and freedom. And I got that, and I'm so grateful for watching you breaking through your movie, the sacrifices that you do in your own life to inspire people, the way you put all the teachers together, and you're really there like this life force for all of us teachers, supporting us to really bring this awareness of the tantric awareness to the world, and so people can really create a life that they want to have. I'm very grateful for all that you do.
Thank you, Kika, and I'm grateful for what you're doing and what all people are doing around the world to create more power, ease, and freedom for people. That's the biggest thing is realizing that our life force energy is connected with our sexual energy, and if we're holding guilt, shame, and fear around our sexual energy, then we're not able to harness our life force energy, and we're really not stepping into our full power and our full potential. So, I know there's a lot of
Tell me more about this, like stepping in our full potential as sexual beings, and how does that affect our power?
Well, like I said, it's related to our life force energy, and what happens when we start, more even than sexuality, when we start activating our emotional bodies in a very powerful way. What happens is we start feeling more, we start becoming more sensitive, we start becoming more intuitive, we start tapping into levels of consciousness, and we start healing the past trauma in our lives, and feeling through things that we've kind of left on the shelf that have actually disconnected from being fully present and fully aware. And what happens is we start reclaiming power, we start moving through the past trauma, and we start bringing ourselves to a place which is basically what I call current. And when we get very current, then what happens is we're able to respond to life without all the baggage that we're carrying, and most of us don't even realize that we're carrying baggage.
Yeah.
And so a healthy emotional body is really important, and this concept, and the things I talk about, people you can't really explain it until you actually have one of the experiences in the Level 1 ISTA spiritual sexual shamanic experience. We actually download the experience and give people a taste of what
this is I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, that's what you're talking about. And it's related to our sexuality, because our sexual interaction and our sexuality is one of the most powerful emotional experiences we can share with ourselves or with other human beings. But most people have been so shamed and guilted and have developed such a dysfunctional sexual patterning their lives that it's hard for them to even comprehend what it is that I'm talking about.
Wow. Yeah, that's so true. And your book is amazing. I mean, I have learned so much about your book. We're going to have a link for your next trainings. And I want everybody to know that I will be there. It's in It's February, right? Hawaii?
It's in Hawaii. It's at the end of January. There's going to be a conference of sexuality and consciousness.
Yeah, and I'll be there.
There's a week long training that follows. It's what I'm talking about, the spiritual sexual shamanic experience. It's on the website schooloftemplearts.org.
We're going to have a link for it in the video. If you go to
schooloftemplearts.org, you can see it. It's on the calendar. You can register for it. There's limited spaces, but if you're somebody who really wants to step into your love, step into your power, step into your freedom, and maybe you've done some Tantra work, maybe you've done some personal growth work, maybe you've done the Landmark Forum or something like this. This is a 1-week immersion experience that I don't know of anything like it in the world. And I love how this work stays cutting edge, because we keep interacting and working together to evolve this week long to be the most cutting edge, significant work that's available to anybody who wants to go deep and heal these issues in a significant way. So
beautiful.
It's really beautiful. I'm really excited about it. This is one of the last level ones I'll be teaching.
I know, because you're not going to be doing it anymore in a while, huh? You want to
doing it for so many years, and I'm just glad there's so many amazing other teachers coming in to do this, because I'm ready for a break, and I'm excited. There's now a level 2 and a level 3, and I'm involved in kind of working with the teachers and supporting them, and I'm also teaching the level 3. And so I'm excited that more faculty are coming into the ISTA experience. They all do their own thing, but then we all come together and share this beautiful event around the world.
There is something that does bring just with his presence. And that is a transmission, something that we get from him, that somebody that has no shame, somebody that is in his ease, and he's really in his power, and it kind of shakes us. Des has this presence that is shaking the world. Like, he makes people, well, who is this guy? He's too free. He's too happy. Who's this guy? And it makes people think. And I appreciate that. And Des, thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to have the link for all your offerings below this video and on the video. And I really appreciate you here. And I would love for you to come back and talk about male sexuality next time. Perhaps next month we have you in. And I would like you to tell people a little more about male sexuality and how does it affects relationships, and how does it affect a man's confidence and all of that. I know you're absolutely an expert on it, and I think people have a lot to learn with you. Thank you so much for being with us today, Des. And
thank you, Kika. It's so wonderful. I love that you're doing this radio show, and I really celebrate you and all your success and how you've just become an amazing inspiration and teacher yourself. So thank you for being you.
Oh, thank you. I love you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.